It's one of the most iconic taglines of all time. It's what you tell yourself before you confess your feelings to someone, send an intimidating job application, or eat the old lasagna in your fridge that probably went bad, but you're really hungry and just eat it anyway. Just Do It is a marketing campaign that has truly expanded beyond its intended audience and touched the lives of every person on the planet. But this legendary tagline has a dark history. A history that may change the way you think about it forever. Okay, quick history lesson, because that's just what you do in videos like this, I think. I don't know. Nike was founded in 1964 by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight. Bill was a track and field coach at the University of Oregon, and Phil was one of his students. Originally, Nike was called Blue Ribbon Sports, and they were just selling shoes manufactured in Japan. But then in 1967, they yoinked some ideas from the Japanese shoe and just designed their own, under a new name. Nike, a name that was coined by their first employer, Jeff Johnson, who said he came up with the idea for the company after having a dream about the Greek goddess of victory. Nike is the name of the Greek goddess of victory. Everyone knows that fun fact, I think. Here's a more interesting fun fact. The iconic swoosh logo was designed by Carolyn Davidson, who was originally paid $35 for that design. $35. Like insane. Imagine getting paid $35 for the most iconic logo in history. Thankfully, she got like 500 shares a couple years later, so it's all good. That's worth like $1 million or something, I think. Sorry this is taking a while. We're getting to the good parts like right now. In 1967, Nike hired John Brown and Partners to come up with their first major ad campaign. Gorgeous. Look at that long road. There is no finish line. Yes, because the road goes on forever. Yes, the person is running forever. Makes sense. I'm gonna buy some shoes now. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. 1988, new ad agency, Weeden and Kennedy. Co-founder Dan Weeden. This is the guy. Absolute legend in the marketing world. Went on to create campaigns for Old Spice and Coca-Cola. But before all of that, he would have his first big client for his newly formed ad agency. Dan was sitting in his Portland, Oregon apartment the night before meeting with Nike for their first pitch meeting, and he was trying to come up with an idea.
And I was trying to write something that tie it up so it could speak to women who had just started walking to kind of get in shape, to people who are like world-class athletes thing. And then for some damn reason, I thought of Gary Gilmore. Gary had killed some people in Utah, which is not a good place to kill people because they kill you right back. He was convicted and sentenced to die by firing squad. A little old-fashioned, but so they brought him out, put him in the chair, and the firing squad was there. And before they put the sack over his head, they asked him if he had any last words, and he said, let's do it. And I remember when I read that, I was like, that's amazing. I mean, how do you, in face of that much uncertainty, do you push through that, And so I didn't like the let's thing. I just changed that because otherwise I have to give him credit. Now I don't really have to, so.
The deed was done. The echoes of Gary Gilmore's death have swept the globe. These three powerful words that extend far beyond runners and athletes, that live within every person on this planet to give them a little bit more perseverance, comes from a man looking down the barrels of a firing squad. It's not just the fact that this tagline has a morbid backstory, but how its motivational vigor feels so misdirected. When we say just do it in our daily lives, we use it to motivate ourselves, to face discomfort in the hopes of something great. When Gary said just do it, he was not pushing up against adversity. He was submitting himself to the criminal justice system. He was giving up. The exact opposite message of Nike's Just Do It. I've told myself just do it probably thousands of times for 1,000 different reasons. Thinking about Nike every single time I did it. Now I only think about how there are still places in America where the government has the ability to kill people as a form of punishment. What's interesting though is that the United States is actually the only Western country that still uses the death penalty, which feels kind of weird, Like I'm not sure most Americans would be proud to be a part of this list. Well, how about we just don't, because the death penalty doesn't work. Studies show when comparing death penalty states to non-death penalty states, there are actually higher rates of murder in death penalty states per capita. So the death penalty just doesn't prevent homicide. It's also more expensive to have someone sit on death row to be executed than it is to hold them for life in prison because of court fees. Now look, the death penalty is incredibly complicated. Along with the points I've already brought up, there's a lot of other things that I could mention, but I'll just leave you with this clip from Where to Invade Next by Michael Moore, who is interviewing a a father from Norway who just lost his son to a mass murderer. In Norway, there is no death penalty, and the maximum jail sentence is 21 years. And as someone who grew up with America's obsession with crime and punishment, it feels impossible to understand this guy's perspective.
We don't have death sentences here in Norway, so we kind of say that the mass murderer, he's going to have the same kind of treatment as everybody else. The justice system is going to judge him, and he's going to have his sentence.
You cared about whether he had a fair trial?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
You yourself?
Yeah.
But don't you personally want to kill him?
No.
If you had the chance?
No.
If you had the chance?
No.
But he killed your son?
Yeah, but no.
You don't want to kill him?
No.
But he killed your son?
Yeah, he killed my son.
You wouldn't want
but
to
I don't want to step down on the ladder and say, I have the same right as you thought you had to kill. I don't have the same right.
Even though he's just a piece of scum?
Yeah, but I know he's a piece of scum, but it doesn't give me the right to shoot him or kill him.